the one connection I want us to make, and the thing that I think all of those I am statements point us to, and the main connection I want us to have this morning is that all of those statements, self-sufficient, holy, merciful, sovereign, all of those are pointing to the cross. So we're going to look at some statements real fast. These are the I am statements that Jesus says. So when Jesus says I am, what he's saying is I am God. I am all of those characteristics. I'm sovereign. I have always been. I'm self-sufficient. And he says these. Let me read them to you real quick. He says, I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. Before Abraham was, I am. I am the door. I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the true vine. I am the way, the truth, and the life. So when the Jews wanted Jesus killed and killed him, he didn't have a rap sheet. He didn't have anything to hold against him. They killed him because he kept claiming to be God. And they didn't like it. Now, we always throw the Jews just, we give them a bad name because, we think they did something wrong. But in reality, if someone walked in those doors and said, hey, guys, I'm God, we would take some action, right? Well, maybe not. Maybe not our tolerant country. We might just put our arm around him and say, hey, me too. I'm sorry. I'm cynical by nature. I think I wasn't hugged enough as a child or something. But anyway, no, we would do something about it. We'd give him a special jacket, put him in a room with padded walls, that, enjoy. You're not God. But Jesus kept claiming to be God. They upset him. They crucified him, put him to death. And Jesus kept making these audacious claims. I am God. Meaning, Jesus is holy, self-sufficient, merciful, sovereign. He is all those things. See, now, Moses was a great mediator for his people. He led them out. He spoke on God's behalf to his people. He was the go-between God and the people of God. He led them out, the oppressed, out of slavery. He took them through the sea. He took them to the promised land with a 40-year detour back to the promised land. He was a great mediator for his people. He would pray to God, God, don't kill these people, though they deserve it. He was a great mediator for his people. He was great, but he was not the great I am. You see, there's a big difference because Moses could free the oppressed, but Jesus can free both the oppressed and the oppressor. Moses could free a hated people. Jesus could free a hated people and the haters. This is the beauty of the cross, that all who would come under it would be saved no matter what you've done or who you are. Whether you're the victim or you're the one that has victimized people. No matter who you are or where you've been, there's room under the cross. He says, be saved. Come under the great mediator between God and men, Jesus Christ. Jesus is the mediator of God for the people of God to free us. Now, let me tell you this. Josiah, my son, anytime he talks about a story or we play games, he's always the good guy, right? So he's always Spider-Man, or he's always, and he's always fighting bad guys. And anytime, we read Bible stories at night, and when we act out David and Goliath, who do you think is Goliath? Me, right? And he's always throwing something at me, right? So he's always the hero of the story. And this is natural for us to do, and I think this is what we do as well. When we hear the story of the Exodus, we begin to put ourselves in Moses' position. Oh yeah, I would do this, I would have said this, I would have said this to Pharaoh, I would have done this. When in reality, our hearts are closer to being Pharaoh and hard-hearted than we are close to freeing oppressed. And this is the beauty of the cross, that when we have a room full of Pharaohs, the hardest hearted of people, which is what you were, which is what I was, I stood before God, a God hater, and he took my hard heart, and he absolutely took my heart of stone and made it into a heart of flesh. That's what the cross does. It takes the Pharaohs among us and makes us into Moses. He has the sovereignty, the authority, the I am uniqueness, the holiness to take no matter who you are or what you've done and to say, mine. 1 Timothy 2:5 says, for there is one God, and there is one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus. Jesus is the mediator between God and man. And he is the perfect mediator because he is God himself. You see, the only one who can make us holy was the only one who is holy. And the only one who is holy is God. And so the only way to see the Lord, like Hebrews 12 says, the only way to enter in his presence and it be a joyful thing is to be made holy by having faith and belief in Jesus Christ and what he's done on the cross. He is the way. He is the only way. And so, church, as we begin to think about and gaze upon who God is and that he sits in the heavens, he does as he pleases, that he has always been, that he is not bound by time, that he speaks things into existence, and that by his will your heart beats. All of those ponderings of God should finish in the cross, and that the God of the universe, though he needed no relationship with us, made a way for us to have relationship with him. Though he was self-sufficient in himself, and he could have said, to heck with all of us, he said, I'm going to make a way. The sovereign of all mankind, sovereign of all the world, has said, here's my plan. I'm going to put my son on the cross to make them holy, to make them holy forever with me. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I pray that we can begin to be a church that is in awe at the wonder of God and who he is, the great I am.